Never judge a book by its cover. This is a lesson I've learned throughout my life and held very close to my heart. In the city of Georgia that I lived in for a few years, there was, is, and always has been a very serious animal abuse and neglect problem. Dogs are often found chained to posts and trees and left to die. So during our time there, my family began rescuing and fostering dogs from all over the city. This is one of them. Her name is Bella. It's not a great picture. This is when we found her. She was chained up in a very small little enclosure, and the only cover she had was actually a turned over trash can, and there was just, her own poop was everywhere, so she'd been living in there for probably a month or so. And right around the corner was a pit bull that the neighbor had just left chained to a tree, and he was starving to death. And I have a better picture of her, but I forgot to bring it actually because I needed only 3, and that would be my 4th. Where we have her like after we've like taken her in and to help her get adopted, and she looks like really happy and bright and smiling and stuff. It's like that's one thing that's really got me. Anyways, one day my mom got a call from my grandma about a dog that just randomly showed up in her front yard. She had no idea whose dog it was or how it ended up wandering into her yard, but she gave us a call because she knew we loved taking care of stray dogs. Little did we know that when that little dog wandered into my grandma's yard, he was going to wander into our hearts.
Oh.
Now, I know that sounds really cliche, but it's the only thing I can think of to describe what really happened. My mom and I went to pick him up at my grandma's music store that they owned, and we were really shocked by what we found. He was caked in the Georgia red clay, and his fur was tangled in that and even shaved off in odd places. My mom called ahead at the vet's office so that they know that we were coming and be ready for us. As I sat in the silent waiting room listening to the seconds tick away on the clock or the occasional dog bark from the back, I couldn't help but think about how awful this dog looked. Years before, we found a dog named Jack on our way back from church on one Sunday. When we came across him, he'd just been hit by a car and was missing his left eye. We took in Jack and got him fixed up and cared for him for a few months, but after a while, Jack started to lose his mind and we had to have him put down. At the time of finding this new dog, those wounds still hadn't really healed for my family, so we were really wary of taking him in. The vet and the dog came back and he said that all was well, so we took him to a groomer to get him cleaned up a bit. After that, we brought him home to the rest of our family to deliberate and figure out what to do. My mom decided to make a found dog post on Facebook in hopes that someone would come up and claim him. Sure enough, a few days later, a woman sent my mom a message saying the dog was her boyfriend's, and we set up a meeting. But it came a little too late. We fell for this dog really quickly. We named him Henry after one of our ancestors that lived in the area. He's a really strange little dog. He acts, looks, and sometimes even smells like an old man. Specifically, dirty socks and Fritos. When the day of the meeting came around, my entire family sprung into action, was cleaning up the house, making it look as nice as we possibly could, as if like someone from an adoption agency was coming. Later on, when we met the man, we found out Henry's story. Originally, his name was Baby, and was owned by the man's mother, an elderly woman who lived in a nursing home and had recently died of cancer, leaving the dog to him. He already had a black lab, but didn't exactly know how to take care of a small indoor dog, so he would just let him outside in the woods. Woods that the dog would later get lost in, only to be found in my grandmother's yard. A few hours passed, and the man decided that it would be best for Henry to stay with us. He cried, though. His little dog was really all he had left of his late mother. It was a sad goodbye, but a necessary one, as Henry officially became ours to keep. And this is what Henry is now, living with us. What I originally saw as a very simple and ugly dog that wandered into my grandma's yard quickly became a lovable fur ball with an incredible story. Quick judgments and first impressions are not everything. Letting something or someone in without taking appearance into consideration, and they can change your life. Thank you.